Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Coffee Ann here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us Tuesday morning. It's February 7th. I'm Joe Callahan. With me at the Coffee Ann table, say good morning to Ed Carew from the Carew Investment Group. Hi, Ed.
Hello there.
And Linda Tebow from Aging Well. Hi, Linda.
Good morning.
How did it go last week with your student from Rick?
Very well.
Good.
Very well.
Good. She knows what she's doing after you taught her?
Yeah, no, we had a good day. I took her out. We did a lunch and learn over at Waterview.
Okay.
And she came with me, so she was, she got to experience that kind of a thing.
Excellent.
She has to do a presentation
To who?
to seniors.
Oh, does she?
Yes, she does. As
Okay.
part of the practicum. So
Ooh, was she nervous?
well, she didn't do hers
She hasn't done it
yet.
yet. Oh, she's putting it together?
She came to see and choose her topic. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, great. I'm glad it went well.
It went really well. Yeah.
It's funny. You'll have to. As I was flying home. People know I had a trip this past weekend, and I'm coming through Dulles International Airport. I'm wearing a Rhode Island College polo shirt,
Oh yeah.
and as I'm coming through TSA, the TSA agent says, "Are you a professor?" And I'm like, "Huh?" I'm not normally asked that question. And she goes, "Well, I see the Rhode Island College shirt." Oh, no. But thank you for asking. I'm just an alum. I can see why she would ask that, though.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm in that perfect age group where it looked like I could be a teacher. So it makes perfect
You
sense.
look very intellectual.
And yes, intellectual. And I know what I'm talking about. But I can't teach.
Yeah, until you said, huh?
Huh? Yeah. No, geez, he's not a professor at all.
Yes.
All right. It's time for first message from the Carew Investment Group, Ed.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Good morning, everyone. Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. Our telephone number is 765-8880. If you're looking for an investment firm that puts you first and works hard on your behalf, I'd like you to consider us. We're right here in Woonsocket, and we've been in business since 1987. So you don't have to go out of town for an experienced advisor or work with an advisor based in Boston or New York or who knows where, probably someone you're never going to meet. And we encourage our clients to come to the office and sit down with us as often as they like. Why? Because we like to do business the old-fashioned way. We want to get to know you on a more personal basis so that we're more attuned to your financial needs. So if you're interested in speaking with us for a free no-obligation consultation and find out more about how we'll invest your money, you can call me or Paul at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Baltic Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Baltic Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Thanks, Ed. Yeah, now that I think of it, I should have said, yeah, I teach English Lit.
Yeah.
And but my luck, they would have said, oh, I was an English Lit major. I would have been caught in a lie right there, and that would not have been good. So, no, I went with the truth. No, not me. All right. Hey, Linda, guess what? Ed was right again.
About what?
Yeah.
Why does this surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me. I just like pointing it out. Last week, Ed said, yep, the Feds are going to raise the interest rate 1/4 point on Wednesday of last week. And they raised it 1/4 point. Right again, Ed. So nicely done.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. Now,
So lucky guess.
No, I think it was more educated. That's right, huh? So, what I heard yesterday on a little money market report, it looks like they said like 100 companies are going to report earnings or something.
560.
Okay, companies, right?
They probably said over 100.
Yeah, the real biggies.
Yeah.
Coke, Pepsi, those.
Yeah.
Do you see any surprises coming up with what they're going to be releasing, or do you?
There's always surprises.
Always,
you just
okay.
don't know which company
Who's
is
the
going to have
surprise?
it. So far, what's been going on is that the earnings are generally pretty good.
Okay.
A lot of them are better than expected, but the earnings are one thing. It's nice to know that your company made money in the last 3 months, but it's like that's the last 3 months. You know, what are we going to do in the next 3
Going
months?
forward.
And so a lot of the companies that have reported good earnings are reporting lower than expected earnings for the next quarter or the next 6 months or stuff like that.
Okay.
They're expecting decreased business and things. So
Was this past Christmas good for retailers?
it wasn't as good as
They wanted.
as
Well,
they
they wanted it to be.
expected, or well, as that they would have wanted. Yeah.
Okay. Is that why Amazon laid off? Didn't Amazon just lay off a lot of people?
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause-
Everybody's laying off a lot of
Everybody's
people.
Yeah.
laying off.
Boeing announced a 2,000-person layoff this morning, but
But aren't they building
on the
planes?
other hand, they are hiring 10,000 more people for one of their other plants because they're increasing these 777 or whatever.
Yeah.
One Dreamliner to 70, whatever number that is.
Yeah. Okay.
So they have to, retailers when you went into COVID did a lot of weird stuff. Mm-hmm. Places like Amazon hired a bunch of people because everybody was ordering stuff online, so
Right.
they needed more
Had to keep
people,
up.
more pickers, more this, more that, more drivers. So now all of a sudden things are back to
Slows
normal,
down.
and they don't need these people anymore. So they're laying them off, but they're not laying off to the degree that you would think just because it's a recession or
Yeah.
going into a recession. They're laying off people that they hired or overhired during COVID, and they don't need them. They don't need them anymore, so they're laying them off.
Okay. Just in terms of like a Walmart, and I'm thinking brick and mortar, not Amazon. Will their earnings be okay this time around? I didn't know if they had a decent holiday season or not.
Oh yeah, sure. They
They
have
did?
a holiday season, but I don't know what their earnings will be like.
Okay.
They're into so many things that their earnings are generally erratic.
Yeah.
That's what I've found. That they'll have a really good quarter, and then the next quarter they like don't even come close to their number, and then they've got all these excuses. Well, there was this, there was that, there was a storm, there was whatever, and so their earnings are erratic compared to other companies. So some companies are steady as a rock, like Apple.
Yeah.
Like they just reported earnings last week. They were expected to be lower, and they were lower, but we expected it because China was shut down, and they weren't making phones, so you can't sell what you don't have.
Right.
So that was not a surprise. But there are other companies that it's like, how come you missed your numbers?
Yeah,
What's
right.
up with this?
So when are all these companies going to be releasing their earnings?
When?
Yeah.
Oh, all week long.
All this week?
I'm sure some have released earnings this morning.
Oh, okay.
If I look at my
I didn't know it was. I thought it was all one day.
Oh,
That-
no.
It's spread out. Okay.
No, they've been releasing earnings for 2 weeks.
Have they?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, keep an eye on it, will you?
I always do.
All right. Did everybody make it through the cold snap okay? Any issues
Yes.
at the homesteads?
No, we didn't have any issues at all.
No?
We had the heat up nice.
Yeah.
And the little dog survived. I dressed her up and when I took her out, you could hardly see
Can't
my
see. You don't even know it's a dog.
It was really cold, but none the worse for wear.
Good. Ed, how about the horses make it through this cold snap?
Oh, they were fine.
They do okay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good.
They don't have a problem with it.
Do you keep them in the barn though? I noticed that.
Oh yeah, we put them in a barn every night.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, did they go out at all in the weather, or did you keep them?
We
in the
let
barn?
them out for a short time because it was so windy.
Yeah.
They're not. The cold doesn't bother them, but the wind chill. When you get a wind chill
Oh,
of minus
sure.
25
Yeah,
and
that-
minus 15 and minus
Right,
30
yeah.
and stuff like that, I mean, their ears is
Yeah.
what I always concern with.
Yeah.
Frostbite, right?
I'm not. Yeah, right.
Right.
I'm not concerned with their body because
They wear the coats that you see the
Jane put a blanket,
blanket.
a horse blanket on her horse.
Yeah.
Amigo won't stand for that.
Oh.
Really?
It's
He
like, get
shakes
that
it off?
away from me.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, do you put a space heater or something out there in the barn, or do
No.
they not need it?
They don't need it, and it would be dangerous.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
just,
A straw and
Yeah, you
and
got all
stuff
the
like
hay
that.
around, and no matter how well you clean, you still at
Wind could blow it in,
yeah.
start a fire. Okay. Well, I'm glad they made it through okay.
See, and they're okay in the barn because the barn is shut, so at least they're out of the wind.
yeah.
Yeah.
It might get down to 10 degrees, but they're okay with that.
Okay.
You go up to them. I go in the morning to feed them.
Yeah.
I don't care how cold it is outside or even in the barn. You go up, I'll grab Amigo by the neck,
Yeah.
and he's warm.
Yeah.
Is he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, I'm glad they did well through the recent cold snap. See how cold it was on top of Mount Washington?
Wasn't that something?
Was it minus 108?
Minus
Is that what I heard?
108.4 if you want to
was
get
the
exact.
coldest
That's the wind chill.
ever in the
Coldest wind
whole-
chill ever.
Ever.
And they
Ever. Ever.
EVA.
EVAH.
Ever.
But there's actually people up there
I know.
that have to go out and check the weather instruments every hour. And they say, but you got to be fast.
Yeah.
Go out, check, and get back inside, or else it's life-threatening.
But
Oh,
there,
yeah.
there was a clip of one of the men that
Yeah.
were doing just that, checking the weather. And when they had him outside, a gust of it blew him.
Blew them over.
It blew him over.
It's like a cartoon. It starts
Yeah.
rolling away.
Yeah, they blew him right over. I said, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
I said, Can you
So,
imagine?
So before I left on my trip, I'm smart. I bumped up the heat like on Thursday, and it's funny because my wife and daughter, that old cliche, the men touch the thermostat and the women don't,
Yeah.
and they will not touch the thermostat in the house.
Yeah.
Dad takes care of that.
Yeah.
So now I come home on Sunday night. Now they're sweating. It's so hot in the house.
Turn it down.
Now I'll turn it down for you. Well, in case you were wondering, Linda, the movie 80 for Brady did very well
Yes, I
this
saw
past
that.
weekend. New England Patriots legend Tom Brady is in the movie theaters and will soon be announcing football games on TV. He produced I didn't know he was the producer. He produced the movie 80 for Brady, which was released on Friday.
Oh.
It finished second place at the box office over the weekend.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's being announced that Brady, who retired from playing last week, will begin his new job as a broadcaster for Fox Sports in the fall of 2024. Oh, I thought it'd be this coming fall in 23. I guess it's going to take over a year off,
He's
I guess.
taking a gap year.
Gap year. Let's get be with the kids. And,
The kids.
he's probably going to take a job at Walmart as a greeter because he needs the money.
Yeah, right. Well, he lost all that Bitcoin money, right?
Oh, that's right.
He did.
How much money did he lose in that? Do you
don't know.
remember? It was in the millions. I
Yeah, it
think.
It was lots. I
It was
think,
lots
yeah.
and lots.
Yeah.
All right, there's a front page story in today's call. They caught a shoplifter over at the Family Dollar on Clinton Street. A Woonsocket man, 40 years old, and they have him on surveillance video. And the manager over there showed it to the police, and he stole a belt, allegedly stole a belt, and along with a few other articles of clothing. It came to $8. That's it.
That's
And-
grand larceny.
Well, yeah. I mean, they call it. That's why it's called the dollar store, right?
Right, exactly.
Which is really $1.25, I
But
think
I
now.
was just gonna say, now it's $1.25, right?
But he only grabbed a couple of things, but they turned it over to police, and they went and got him. And he was either out on parole or they wanted for other things. So he's down at the ACA now, and because of what he's done
Is
here.
that the ACI?
Yeah, he had other warrants, or whatever they did for his parole. He did what he wasn't supposed to do for his parole. That puts you back in
That puts
in
you back.
prison for that.
Well, maybe he wanted to get out of the cold too. If he didn't,
Hey,
if
maybe.
he was homeless,
Yeah.
maybe it was an act to get him.
And the other front page story on the call today is about the killing that we had of Joseph Pamula, allegedly by his daughter here in Woonsocket. And
I know that gentleman.
Do you?
I knew that gentleman. He came to the senior center.
wow, well, you might not want to listen to what I'm about to say because
Okay.
and one daughter was arrested. She's being held without bail, also at the ACI. The other daughter, she's the one that called the police and said, something's wrong, and I don't know where my sister is, kind of thing. And so the police meet the daughter that called out on the front porch, and she finally lets him in. And this is the bad part, Linda. Joseph Pamula, he is laying on the floor with a pair of garden shears in his neck, and blood everywhere. And they eventually did find the daughter that they think has done it. And all she said was, I can't put up with the pain anymore, or something along those lines. Or I can't be hurt anymore. And the daughter that made the phone call, they said those two got into an argument because there was talk of selling the house and getting rid of 12 cats. Don't know who owns the cats, but we got to get rid of them if we're selling the house. And that turned into an argument. And turned deadly after that.
Yeah,
I'm
very
like,
sad, very
sad and incredibly violent.
Yeah.
That's a tough way.
He was a very generous man.
Was he?
Oh yeah.
How long had you known him, Linda?
Well, he came to the senior center. I took his
For a number
blood
of years,
pressure.
yeah.
Yeah, and I took his blood pressure, on Thursday. Very, very nice gentleman, very nice man. And when we had anything that involved the kids, like for Halloween or Christmas, he would come for lunch and make sure, he had something to give them for trick-or-treats.
Oh, that's nice.
And at Christmas time, he had something to give them,
For a present. Yeah. Yeah.
for the present. And, yeah,
Wow.
he was a nice guy.
Nice. Okay.
We were very sad. His sister still comes to
Yeah.
the senior center. And, she still comes to the senior center, and I think it gives her great, it helps her because she's with, at the congregate meal, they all same people sit together.
Yeah.
And so they're friends, and so
Yeah.
having her come there really makes a difference. But yeah, he was a very nice man. He will be missed.
All right. Ed, it's time for a second message from the Carew Investment Group, and then we're going to take our first message on the Coffee and program.
Okay, thanks again, Joe. Good morning again, everyone. Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group. Are you retired or retiring soon? Well, that's great. Congratulations. You may be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client money, especially from the proceeds of their 401k distribution after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about our services and for professional management of your investments, you can call me, Ed Carew, or you can call my son, Paul Carew, at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Ed, thanks. And Coffee and will continue in just a moment. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240. The latest trends in kitchen and bath design are vivid colors, like Viva Magenta being incorporated into cabinets, vanities, and tile. Metallic finishes, especially coppers and rich golds, are good for faucets, sinks, and hardware. Plus, black is always a popular choice for cabinets and wall color.
Hi, this is Kevin Beck from Cumberland Kitchen and Bath Design Center.
Kevin and his team can make your dream kitchen and bath a reality. Cumberland Kitchen and Bath Design Center, McDonald's Plaza, Mendon Road, right off Route 295 in Cumberland. Visit CumberlandKitchen.com. Transforming a house into a home at Cumberland Kitchen and Bath Design Center. The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
We are local and live at 99.5 FM.
It is Coffee In here on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Linda Tebow and Ed Carew. And, all right, boy, big earthquake in Turkey. 7.8,
Oh my God.
and then a 7.5 aftershock. That's just as bad. I think the death toll's up over 3,000. Right now, it hit a refugee camp, and boy, you hit those things. Yeah. It's almost like hitting the trailer parks around. Like when a tornado hits a trailer park around here, it's just mass destruction, and it's like wow. So they got officially 7 days of mourning in Turkey. That's what the president of the country said. That's what they're going to do, but they still got a lot of cleaning up to do. Going through all the rubble and stuff like that, try to find the bodies.
Survivors.
Are they finding survivors?
Yeah, I saw them carrying out a little girl.
Yeah.
This big. Yeah, a little one.
That's always good because little kids bounce.
Yeah, but those buildings just went.
Yeah, they just crumble right down. Wow. Yeah, pretty bad stuff out there. All right.
Makes that cold weather we had over the weekend pale.
Yeah, it does,
It's like.
Which do you want?
Really, really.
All right, and so any thoughts on the shooting down of the Chinese balloon? I was amazed that there it is in Montana, but here we are shooting it down off the coast of South Carolina. We let it travel across the country.
The whole country, yeah.
Just watching it.
Yeah.
Now I know what they say. I know what the government says. Well. We wanted to make sure no one got hurt on the ground if we shoot it down. Well, how about, can't we just get close enough to it and stick a pin in it? We don't have to actually shoot it. Or have a jet run into it, and just have it deflate and just, gently fall to the ground. Am I being too naive?
I don't think you can just have a jet run into it. The
All
thing
right.
was supposedly
I know, it was huge.
the size of 3 school buses.
Yeah, okay. And, you didn't know what it was capable of doing in case you did run into it. It could have blew up. They don't
Right,
know.
well, and I think
Yeah.
that's what they were saying. They didn't know if it had, any explosives or toxic or,
Yeah.
any kind of chemicals that.
All right. But
yeah.
it came across Canada, and they didn't do anything about it either.
There's one over Latin America now, too.
Is there a Chinese one?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, we'll let them deal with that one. But
But it's not headed towards
but
the
now,
United States.
what is that?
There could have been a discussion between the United States and Canada that they were going to, that
What do we
the
do?
U.S. would take it down once it got over not international, but once it got over the ocean within the 12-mile range of the still in our waters, rather than have it come down over some populated area.
Well, I guess they don't want that either. And did you see part of the out of Massachusetts? Some of the fighter planes from Mass
Yes,
flew down
yeah.
there to help. It was actually shot down by National Guard or whatever from South Carolina, but we were down there helping them out down there. And but then I heard yesterday that the Chinese government mad at us
Of course they
for
are.
shooting it down.
Well, yeah. I mean, they got to put up a front that
Do they?
you didn't have to shoot that
Didn't have to
down
shoot it.
because
It
that was
wasn't-
just a weather balloon.
Yeah.
Of course
we
it
were
was.
just gathering climate. You guys want us to be part of the climate change.
Talks.
Yeah, right.
So we need to know what we're dealing with.
Well, yeah.
Like,
Sounds
what are
like
you
a
doing about
BS
it? Right,
story
yeah.
to me.
Right, exactly, yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it seems like the military were quite convinced that it was a spy.
Well, yeah,
It was a spy plane.
right away,
Not
or
a plane, a balloon.
not really spy, just collecting data,
Yeah.
as they say,
Yeah.
not really spying.
Over the air bases that you have your
Right,
ICBMs.
right, exactly, yeah.
Which
Oh,
collecting
it just
data.
have to go
Not
that
to
way.
worry.
Don't worry about it, we just,
Don't worry.
So now, does the U.S. do anything like this? Do we send up spy balloons over other
Spy
countries?
planes, oh.
I don't think we send us spy balloons. We do send us spy planes, but I think they can get most of, if not all of the information that they need from our satellites.
Yeah.
But maybe our satellites are more sophisticated and can get, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's like, they don't tell us this kind of
Well,
stuff.
right. But now the question is, where was this balloon launched from?
It just appeared.
See,
huh?
it just all of a sudden it's over Canada,
Yeah.
and coming into Montana.
Yeah.
Well, it had to take off from somewhere. So
Wow.
where did it take off from? And if it took off, because the point I'm getting at, if it took off somewhere either from China or somewhere over the ocean, why didn't we shoot it down over the Pacific Ocean?
Well, that's international waters. You can't just.
Well, as soon as it gets closer to Canada or Alaska, it's not international waters anymore.
I don't know. I don't know where it came in from or anything like that.
Yeah. Or did it come in over Russia and come down like over the pole and
Well,
come,
then it would
come
have been
down?
over Canada before it got to us.
Well, there's a lot of tundra up that way. They could have shot it down.
International.
But it's their country.
Who's a country?
If it's over
Oh,
Canada's
Canada?
country,
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
up in really northern Canada where there's not a lot of people, shoot it down there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know when it was noticed.
I don't know either.
Yeah. They
All of a
said
sudden
they've
it
been
was
tracking it, but how long they've been
But
tracking
how long?
it? You've been tracking it for a week or for 30
Yeah.
days. I mean, it's a balloon.
there. Yeah,
That thing ain't going 500 miles an hour.
that's right.
You know what I wonder too? Is it like truly a balloon and the wind just takes it, or is it a guided thing?
They must be guided in
That's what I
some
was
way.
thinking. That's
a
how it
balloon.
arrived there. Somebody
Yeah,
made
right.
it
I
go
don't.
there,
I don't
right?
think the thing just got here.
No,
accidentally.
It's not like those hot air balloons that just kind of fly
Yeah,
around
it
on
didn't.
their
It
own.
didn't get into the Gulf Stream.
Right, yeah,
There must be some kind of motorized something
mechanism
to
that-
push
yeah,
it.
course
yeah,
correction or whatever.
yeah,
And if you
yeah.
can do that, well, then why is it off course?
Right, exactly. Bingo.
Yeah, if we're directing it.
That was my thought. Yeah.
A lot of questions, and I don't
Yeah.
think we're going to get answers from the
They're
Chinese
annoying,
government.
and there will be repercussions.
No,
I heard them say that.
There
Well,
won't be repercussions.
Yeah.
No?
Not right now, anyway.
All right.
No. No, I think old Gigi screwed up.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. So he's just talking a good game and just, but won't do
Yeah,
anything right now?
I think that got messed up.
All right. Although, whenever something like this happens, there's always some good jokes that pop up on Facebook.
On
for it.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen the one. Have you seen the German balloon, which is in a beer stein? It's coming over. I said, all right, that's pretty
It's like
funny.
the Macy's Day.
Yeah, it's like the Macy's Day Parade is coming. All these other countries' balloons are showing up.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
But the one from Germany was funny, I thought. All right, tonight is the State of the Union address. This will be Joe Biden's second. Governor of Massachusetts, Maura Healey, will be in attendance, Ed.
Oh, goody.
And for whatever reason, she had to be invited by a senator or a congressman. She can't just show up. She has to. She's a guest there.
She's a guest.
So no word on whether. I don't think Governor Dan McKee is going. We would have had a story about
because
that.
they already said, with our congressional delegation, they already announced who their guests
Who
were.
their guests are gonna be?
And Dan, he didn't make the list.
Maura Healey will be a guest of Congressman Richard Neal. I'm not sure what he represents in Massachusetts. Yeah, Seth Magaziner is inviting a football player
Yeah.
from Rhode Island. He's been with the Colts for a number of years,
Wasn't
but he's
a name that I recognized.
nope, and he's an immigrant. Came here from another country, was in Section 8 housing, but then brought himself up, went to Bishop Hendricken, on to college, and now he's a professional football player. So
There you go.
it's a story of the American dream
Yeah.
come true kind of thing. So, but we had it on our national news, Ed, that President Biden is going to be touting his great economic either reform or policies, or how good his policies have worked since he's been president. Well, and then they said in the next breath they said, well, we have a poll of Americans, and it's like 62% think he's done nothing since he's become president. And I'm thinking, what economic policies? All they know is eggs are out of sight, and gas is still high, and prices at the grocery store are outrageous. So
Still, yeah.
how are things going
He
well?
signed the Inflation Reduction Act.
And what did that do?
Nothing.
Nothing reduced.
No.
The other thing we had was this is what I think this is what he's going to tout. More Americans have started businesses since he became president than at any other time, and how that's a great thing. And it is a good thing that people are starting businesses. And I'm thinking that's because other companies are just were laying off, and they had nowhere to turn to. This happened at the beginning, so they just say, "Oh, we'll just start our own business then." Do you see that, Ed? No, if I got that, or if I got that wrong.
I don't know if this is in what, the past year? Is that what he's saying?
Or since he started,
Well,
since he was
started,
president. Yeah.
Well, the first year and a half or so was during COVID, so some people may have started businesses from home because they couldn't go to work. So they may have started doing something that they had as a hobby that they turned into a profession, or like a little part-time job. But it really, I don't think I'd be touting that because you got the Federal Reserve on the other side who's really not real happy because unemployment is 3.4%. It dropped last week again by 0.1%. So he's saying we did a really great job getting all these people to work, and the Federal Reserve is saying we got to get people out of work. We're going to keep raising interest rates till they're not working.
It seems like a real fight.
Yeah, I mean, these two agencies, and I'm using the presidency as an agency,
Okay.
but I'm also, we can include the Congress in there. They have done things that are opposite from what the Federal Reserve is trying to do. That matter of fact, they've caused the Federal Reserve to have to do these things to try to fight inflation. So I don't know. I wouldn't. Hey, he's got to say something.
Well, yeah.
Well, what else can he say? He's got to. What can he come up and say that? I don't know.
Everything's lousy. He's not going to say that. But I, from what I heard yesterday, he's going to tout his economic policies, but he's also going to talk about the 2024 election. And I'm thinking, yeah, but that's not the State of the Union right now. Talking about the elections in the future. So why are you bringing it up? Right? Why are you campaigning? But has the State of the Union address turned into a campaign speech? Not just Biden. I mean everybody now.
Well, they always, in addition to say what they've accomplished, they always propose a lot of things.
Okay.
Like and this is what I want to do in the next year and the next 2 years, and and beyond. So that's normal to do that. I don't know what he's going to talk about the 2024 election.
Okay. And Linda, did you see it more as a campaign speech and really more of a State of the Union address?
Well, he has to say something. He can say he told them to shoot down the balloon, and he did.
So he's taking full credit for it?
You didn't hear him say that?
Well, yeah.
I told him to shoot down the balloon. And
after it got all the way over to cross country.
No, but you know something? He said that. I said, I can't believe I'm agreeing with this man. But when it was first in Montana, he told them to shoot the balloon down then. And
and who said no?
According to what we heard, that the military people wanted to wait.
Because they didn't want people to get in harm's way.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
what I had heard. But then afterwards, he said, I told him to shoot down that balloon.
All right. And I'm sure
I'm not sure I believe that part.
Well, no, but I'm just...
Yeah.
That the military wanted to shoot it down right away, and I told them to wait until it got. I'm not sure that I believe that.
Yeah.
But I do believe that we were able to jam the reception of that balloon so that they couldn't get any information. That I believe.
Oh, yeah.
But did they get information before we started jamming?
Yeah.
If they were tracking it coming, soon enough.
Yeah.
It sounds like they were tracking that for
a while,
several days
well,
at
they
least.
knew it was over Canada.
Yeah.
They knew
Yeah.
it was in Canada. Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully they were able to stop any kind of information that could have been retrieved by the Chinese government. All right, it's time for the break. Another break here on Coffee In, and let's take a look at the forecast, which is being brought to you by Compassion International. Today we will have increasing clouds with a high temperature near 37 with a light north wind, 5 to 8 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy, rain, freezing rain, and sleet likely before 11. Then it changes over to a mix of rain and snow. Little or no snow and sleet accumulation is expected. Low temperature around 30 with a south wind, 7 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday's weather, sunny and a high near 47. Wednesday night, mostly clear, low around 29. Thursday, rain likely late in the afternoon, mostly cloudy, high near 47. Friday, partly sunny and a high near 57. Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with the sunny skies, we have 28 degrees. Families in poverty are facing a global food crisis. $50 provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646. So you're remodeling your home and you want to find just the right flooring. So off you go to DRL Carpet. Why? Because they have the best selection and prices in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. That means you don't have to wait. Plus, it means you can get it installed now. So first you get the best price, next you get the best service, and you get the best selection. Whether you're looking for carpet, tile, hardwood floors, the place to shop is DRL Carpet, 27 Veterans Way, Woonsocket, next to World War II Veterans Memorial Park. DRL Carpet reminds you there's a big difference between getting the job done and getting the job done right. DRL Carpet of Woonsocket.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, it's ON Radio's Cruz and Bruce Palmer inviting you to join me for the Saturday Block Party. It's every Saturday from 4 until 7 p.m. when we fill the airwaves with the songs you want to hear. It's a party in every sense of the word, so join me live on 99.5 and 1240 a.m. or bring the show with you wherever you go at onworldwide.com.
All right, it's Coffee Ann here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us this morning. Joe Callan here with Ed Carew and Linda Tebow. And, well, there was a little bit of an incident down at Tiverton High School, but at a boys' basketball game between Tiverton and Shea High. And I don't know why the fans do this. You really think they'd grow up? But it seems that some of the Tiverton fans were hurling racial slurs at the Shea team.
Jeez.
And the Shea team complained, as well they should. And so, but kudos to Tiverton for doing a quick investigation. And they found out that they determined a non-Tiverton student was using the slurs. All right. And this person's been permanently banned from attending games. And it was also confirmed that a second individual, who was a Tiverton student, was using abusive language but was not racial. And he's been temporarily banned. And so the Interscholastic League commended the schools for taking the matter seriously and getting to the bottom of it. And, you know, when I was in high school, yeah, you try to rattle the other team. That's part of the fun. I remember when the other team would go to to the foul line, and our fans brought newspapers with them, and you had the whole section holding up the newspapers in front of their faces like they didn't care. I said, that's pretty funny. So, I don't know who thought that up, but I thought that was good. But now things have just gotten so crazy, and just let's go after their
Yeah.
ethnicity. And this is
I thought you were going to say the adult parents, because they haven't learned how to play nice in the sandbox either.
and
They
you're right.
seem to be getting worse and worse. you
And
know?
they do tend to get a little worse.
Yeah.
And you know, leaving if racial slurs are gonna be hurled, I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's correct. I don't know if it'll be tolerated. But usually, it was always done by the players while they were playing against each other. My son played hockey. Normally, it's full of white players. He had a black player on the team. He was actually the best player. Went on to play college.
Yeah.
Did great. But I heard what he had to put up with from the other team.
Yeah.
Because I was down in the penalty box area. I was helping out, so I could hear what was going on the ice.
Yeah.
It was brutal. What they threw towards him, but I don't know, was that part of the game? Because the refs could certainly hear it, and they weren't called
I'm
for
surprised they didn't.
unsportsmanlike
I'm
conduct or
surprised
anything
they-
like
yeah.
that. They let it go. Never heard anything from the stands though.
No.
Nope. No, and that was filled with parents and with other students, but they never. Nothing was ever directed towards him. And there was one girl on the team too. There wasn't a girls' team at the time. She heard it pretty good too,
Yeah.
from the other guys.
Yeah.
But they were never called. So I don't know. Are different sports different? Do they handle it differently? Basketball tends to you're able to hear things a little better in the gym than you
Yeah.
are on the ice
On
rink.
the ice, yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, hockey's definitely, it's a noisier sport anyways, you know?
Yeah.
The skates and people fall and it's loud.
Mm-hmm. And so they don't. Yeah, you just don't hear as much.
I mean, there's no excuse for that.
Yeah.
There is just absolutely no
There was
excuse for
none,
that.
and you're right about the rink being louder. When I at one time I was actually lucky enough at a Boston Bruins game, in between periods, to come down and shoot pucks at the net.
Yeah.
It was a contest, which I lost by one puck, by the way. But when you're down on the ice, all you hear is noise.
Yeah.
There is nothing distinctive at all. It's
No.
just noise. It's just.
Yeah.
And so the players can ignore it. I can see how they.
Yeah.
It gets louder when your team is. It's just louder noise.
Well,
So-
it is, and you know, when I say hockey is it's a noisy sport because you know, they're skating fast, so you hear the grinding of the blades and everything, and they're crashing into the boards and they're falling down. And last week when I was in Concord skating, I don't know, there was this man on the ice, he was skating as well, and he had hockey skates on and everything. And I'm trying to listen to my dance coach out there on the ice and do my things that I'm supposed to do. And he fell with such energy. I was like, oh my God, surely he broke everything in his, but it going fast and then, they just land on that ice so hard. And so yeah.
And the ice doesn't give.
No, and hockey is loud.
Yeah.
It's loud. And they're yelling at each other, pass it here,
Right.
and, that kind of thing. So it's a loud sport.
Well, congratulations to Tiverton for handling this quickly and
but
getting.
there's no excuse for these.
There isn't.
There's none.
I know.
No.
I know they know it's going to rattle the other team,
Well, sure.
but you shouldn't do it because
No.
one thing you got to remember, and I try to remember this when I'm watching college sports, they are just kids.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're not men. They're not adults.
No.
All right, I want to get Ed's got to go soon, so we got to get Ed's opinion on this. Ed, in Rhode Island, a bill's been filed to ban the sale or possession of assault weapons in Rhode Island. It would also prohibit the manufacture of those weapons as well. Now, there'll be an exception. If you're a current owner, if you comply with new requirements, and those requirements are either register your gun with the police, I would say in the town that you live, or you make the assault weapon inoperable. And I guess you got to go to the police and show them, here, I've taken the firing pin out, or whatever
How are they
whatever
going
you
to
do.
enforce that?
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
What?
How are they going to enforce that, pray
Oh.
tell?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
You're asking for an
Well,
opinion here?
Yeah. How do you? I don't think in Massachusetts, where Ed lives, you don't have to register any gun with the police, do you?
No.
Okay. Are you okay with that?
That I don't have to register the gun?
As a gun owner of any kind, if the rule came along, if the law came along that said you had to register your guns with the police, are you okay with that?
Doesn't bother me.
Okay. So you're okay with this bill then that they want to put in Rhode Island? Although I don't have the whole bill in front of
I'm okay with
me.
the part about, registering, but I'm not okay with the part about not selling them. You did say that as
yes,
the first part, right?
yeah, bill has been filed to ban the sale.
Yeah, well, we have that ban in Massachusetts too now. You
can't sell.
You can't buy an AR-15 now if you want one.
Okay.
Maura Healey, when she became Attorney General.
Yeah, she put a
made
kibosh on that.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
But an AR-15 is not an assault
It's
weapon.
not an assault rifle, I know.
But
Yeah.
they considered an assault rifle because they look like an assault rifle. They
And
look
and
like an M16.
And it says AR. And people just assume
AR,
it.
and you know what that stands for?
I've heard it in the past, but it's
Yeah.
What is it?
Armalite Rifle.
Oh, okay.
That's
There
the
you go.
name of the company. Armalite Rifle Company. They're the ones who
make
invented
it.
the AR-15.
All right. People just make the assumption.
Yeah.
Stands for assault rifle. So, then anyway, and I know the governor is big on signing this.
Yeah.
He
yeah,
said it
definitely. He said
immediately.
Oh, he said
One of the
he'll
first
sign
things he
it.
wants
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
is sign this bill. So, I wonder what else is attached to the bill. What are the other requirements? There's got to be other things other than just register the guns with the police or make it inoperable.
Once
And what do you-
again,
and what do you-
how
how do you-
will that
how-
be enforced?
I don't know.
They're gonna
And,
go
and,
into the
and what do you
homes
say to the police when they show up and they see your rifle over there? Oh, it's inoperable. Are they going to believe you? No, unless you can somehow prove it to them. And how do you prove it to them? I don't know.
Don't know either.
And as a gun owner yourself, if you were to go home and could you yourself make any gun inoperable? Is it possible for you as the owner, or do you have to know how to do that?
I don't know how to do that.
Okay, you'd have to bring it to a gun
like-
dealer and say, make it not work.
Yeah, make it not work. It's like,
And they'll
why don't
look at
just
you-
keep the darn
Keep
thing.
it on there. Yeah. What,
What's the point?
Yeah, or sell it back to them if they'll buy it back from you.
What
Why
are
don't
they
you
going
just
to do
sell
with
it?
it if they can't sell it to someone else?
Well, that's right. They won't want it, will they?
yeah.
Yeah. Make it inoperable. Okay. So we'll see where that goes.
I mean, there's probably something
Yeah.
that you can remove that I'm not familiar with.
yeah.
You know, I'm not the most educated as far
Well,
as.
you didn't develop this thing. You didn't produce
No,
it.
I didn't develop it. I don't. You know, I can't tell you what makes it do what it does.
Yeah.
But there's probably some part that can be removed so that it can't do
So it
what
can't.
it does.
So it can't fire whatever it fires. So okay. So that's what's coming up in Rhode Island. All right, we got to take a break, and Ed Cruz got to go. He's got a meeting back at the office. Heavy duty money stuff going on.
Heavy
that?
duty.
He's gonna warm up.
He's going to warm up. Yeah, it's a little chilly inside the studio today. We're having a little heating issue. So we're come on, Cape and oil. All right, Ed, thanks for coming in today.
Always a
Bye.
pleasure.
All right.
I'm not sure about today.
Sorry about that, Ed. More coffee hands coming up. Stay tuned.
Stay cool.
We will.
Hi, I'm Kathy LaValle at The Honey Shop. Check out our Facebook page at The Honey Shop RI, and there you'll see a whole list of our new classes and lots of fun things to do. You could join us for making limoncello or maybe Zapolas right before St. Joseph's Day, Easter breads, pizzas, pasta making, cheese making, so many fun things to do and learn.
Thanks, Kathy. Folks, if you love food, you'll love the Honey Shop, right behind the Dunkin' Donuts at Park Square in Woonsocket.
Woonsocket's newest antique store has doubled in size. Passed Down in Time now has more room for you to browse their unique gifts, Crossroad candles, old books, and many other vintage objects and collectibles. Passed Down in Time is directly across the street from Woonsocket City Hall on Main Street. Stop in and say hi to Cindy Wednesday through Saturday. Passed Down in Time invites you to discover the wondrous items that await you. Come in today. Passed Down in Time.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
All right, it is Coffee and here on ON AM and FM. Joe Callan here with Linda Tebow and Gary Smith, part of Do You Remember, is joining us for the last 15 minutes because Ed had to go. So you're just telling us, Gary, what do you said 3 balloons came over when Trump was president?
Well, Trump was in office, 3 balloons came over, and they
From
all
China?
come from China,
Okay.
but they never told him.
Never
They
told
were
the
afraid
president?
because they were afraid he was going to shoot
Shoot
him
him
down.
down. So the military wouldn't tell the
They
president?
did not tell him.
And so where did these balloons go? They just floated around and just kept floating and went back to China?
I don't know. I don't know where they.
So
ended up.
how do you have this information? Is it just general knowledge?
Just TV news.
Yeah? Oh, okay. Wow. It's the first I'm hearing of it, though.
I mean,
All right.
it's. And they knew this was coming. They have this thing tracked all the way from China. They knew this was
Well,
coming.
why isn't it shot down over the Pacific Ocean?
They weren't going to shoot it down at all until the public outcry was such that they had to do something.
Okay. Well, it's collecting.
They could have shut it down. I mean, three school buses for a balloon, big deal.
But what's it doing?
Well, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, you shoot the damn thing down as soon as you can, which is
Well,
the
that's
minute
right.
it comes into
Our space.
United States airspace on the coast of Alaska or wherever. That's when you shoot it down. You don't wait
Yeah.
for it to do what it's designed to do.
Well, I agree, and I don't know why it's not being done.
Linda, mentioned that it could have had chemicals in it or something, and yeah, it could have.
Yeah. Wow. All right.
I mean, it just boggles the mind. It really does.
All right. So do you think, how long has China been doing this then?
Apparently, for a while.
For a while. Wow.
And you can't. It's not an easy thing for some farmer to shoot down. These are it's 60,000 feet high.
Well, yeah,
which
you
is
can't
higher
hit
than
it.
most airplanes can go.
Yeah. You need a jet up there with some rocket power on
Exactly.
it to take care of this. Okay. Yeah. Farmer on the ground with his rifle. I got it.
Yeah. In fact, it would have been down in a heartbeat if that was the case. But
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see if they send any more over, and see what our reaction to it will be. Are you surprised about China's reaction, or are you just?
Oh God, no.
No, you expected them to come out and say, "How dare you do this?"
I don't know who lies more, China or Biden. I really don't. I mean, Biden's telling us that he came into office with an out of control inflation rate.
Yeah.
It was 1.7 to 1.4, depending on who you talk to. Even the biggest critic can't find it higher than 1.7.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's absurd. It really is. I mean,
I know, and you can't trust anything coming out from the Chinese government.
Never. Ever. and frankly, most governments.
Well, that's true too, including our own.
including our own. Exactly right.
All right, on to a better story. This is a good story. 9-year-old boy graduating from a charter school in Pennsylvania, a high school. David Balagans, I think that's how you say his name. I say he's incredibly intelligent and wants to go into astrophysics as a career. He's 9. The next big challenge for David and his parents is to decide on the right college or university. He's already completed a semester at Bucks County Community College, which is outside of Philadelphia.
Well, I saw this kid, and he's quite well spoken.
Is he?
Yes, he's. He's.
When you hear stories about this, I worry about. But how's his social life? Does he have any friends?
He's beyond
of his own age.
He's beyond that.
He's beyond friends.
He's beyond a social life. He really is. He's never going to have a social life. That is the downside of this.
Well, that's a problem.
Maybe.
Remember Sheldon on?
Yes, Sheldon on Big Bang Theory, and his other one, Little Sheldon, or whatever it's called, and he just has no friends because the college kids don't want to hang out with the 9-year-old, even though he's super intelligent.
Just think of all the money he's going to save by never getting married.
Well, that's not true. I mean, he may still get married later on, obviously, but
I doubt it.
Really?
Finds another brilliant young woman.
Maybe can he find a brilliant 9-year-old woman, a child?
No, not as a child.
No.
When he
All
grows
right.
up.
Well, and he's well spoken. And when he says he wants to go to astrophysics, does he have something more specific, or just wants to be a rocket scientist?
Astronaut.
Astronaut.
Yeah.
You got to go where the brain takes you. I mean,
That's right. All right.
He seems very conscious about not wasting any
of his intelligence,
of his gift, if you want to call it that.
Well, that's great.
He's very. He says, "I did this because I could, and I felt it was the right thing to do." And so he graduated from high school by the time he was 9. And
what does he want to graduate from college? Does he want to do the 4 years, or can he think he can do it in 3?
He'll do it in 6 months.
6 months, and then get his doctorate and be
his doctorate.
Yeah, but then I'm good to go at 14.
Yeah.
Well, now what do you do? You're still a minor. Can't drive a car.
Oh, a college.
Even though he can put it together.
A college and grad school will scoop him up in a minute. He'll have many opportunities.
All right.
I'm sure. That's
All right.
a feather in their cap to have somebody like that.
On another note, this will come to probably is no surprise, but the state of Florida sees more shark attacks than anywhere else in the world. I'm a little surprised because I thought South Africa had the most. But no, I think more people go in the water.
I was going to say more people are in
the water in Florida than anywhere else. Researchers with the University of Florida have released their annual International Shark Attack File. I should have gone to this school. This is the kind of research they're doing. Data shows the state reported 16 shark bites in unprovoked encounters off its coast last year. None of the incidents were fatal, but 2 resulted in amputations. The number is lower than previous years, which experts attribute to a global drop in shark population. In the United States, Florida made up 39% of overall bites. Because we're smart up this way. When they come up for the summer, we all get out of the water. Florida, they just stay in the water.
I'm not sure they get out of the water in New England. I mean, that's...
What, people?
Yeah.
No, I had to. You didn't hear my beach story from last summer?
No.
I had 1 day off that I could coordinate with my wife and my child and here. I could get 1 day. We're going to go to the beach. All right. So off we go. We're going to go to Horseneck Beach, which is in Westport, Massachusetts. It's a big, very well-known beach in that area. And what we don't know is as we're driving there, a shark sighting takes place at the beach. But we don't know this. We're driving there. And when we get there, the person that meets us, where you pay the money, says, put your money away. And they actually said, because there was a shark sighting, no one's allowed in the water. You're allowed to come in. You can sit on the beach, but you can't swim. I said, what do we want to do? Well, we're here. We just drove 40 minutes. Well, we're here. And we brought food, so we went and sat on the beach. And so, but we went down to the shoreline, and we were actually up to our ankles in the water. And next thing you know, here come the lifeguards. little 16-year-old girl, "Sir, I'm really sorry, but we can't even allow this." Really? And I was going to try to tell him, if a shark comes along and bites me and tries to drag me away, sharks don't swim backwards. He would have to spin all the way around. Now he'd be beached. and try to push me out to the water. I go, but that's not going to happen. But I'm not going to argue with the girl. She's making minimum wage and she's doing her job. And all I said was, down the beach, there was a guy that was up to his knees. And I said, well, okay, if I'm getting out of the water, that guy's getting out of the water. And they said, yeah, we have another lifeguard who's going to go speak to him right
He
now.
had wooden legs. It didn't matter.
But they had state police on horseback, up and down, and helicopters. So they were, no one in the water. There was a shark sighting.
Well, my shark story.
All right.
Is I was working at Pennycase Island School, which is one of the
Where's
Elizabeth
that?
Islands off of
Okay.
Buzzards Bay, and so we had built a catamaran, and we were sailing out towards Cuttyhunk. You know where Cuttyhunk is? Okay. Well, Cuttyhunk has a beach that's like a channel, and there's a beach on either side of it, so it's fairly narrow. I don't know, 200 feet maybe at the most. And the catamaran, we're sailing, so we're hiked over, and, and the kid's in the bosun's chair with one of our inmates, if you will. So his rear end is almost touching the water.
Touch of the water, okay. As you're sailing
When
along.
an 8-foot long, at least, blue shark comes up, the dorsal fin touches this kid's rear end.
Wow. Must have freaked him out.
And that was one scary part. The other scary part is that shark was heading directly down that channel.
Yeah.
And there's not a damn thing we could do about it.
No.
Nothing apparently happened, but he's going down to the feeding grounds there because it's
Yeah.
just like,
And
it's like an aisle in a supermarket. Ooh.
I was out on the Cape one time, and I think it was in Dennis, and we saw a big group of seals, and it was like, okay, stay out of the water for a little while, because that's dinner or breakfast at the time. And then all the seals noticed all the humans had started to show up, and they left.
Yeah.
And then we could go in the water.
Yeah, that's
And just to stay away from the seal population, especially in the summertime. You have a shark story?
My shark story was very different. My sister had a place on Sanibel Island, and so we would visit. We were like snowbirds during the wintertime. And so Mom and Dad were still alive, and I was in the water just having a good time. And Mom and Dad are on the shoreline, and all of a sudden my mother said, get out of the water, I see a fin. And all of a sudden, my shark turned into a porpoise.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
this close to my face and just jumped right up and was talking to me.
Did it squeak at you?
So, huh?
Did it squeak at you?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Yeah, and so my shark story was a porpoise. Nothing dangerous, but
But
it was kind of a
if you don't know your
surprise.
dorsal fins from others,
hey,
it's
Mom was yelling at me that
it's
she
a
saw this
fin.
fin, but it was.
Well, better safe than sorry.
That's right. All right. We have the bill in Rhode Island, Linda, about the assault rifles. So, which is kind of serious. But down in Tennessee, where they want to make the pumpkin pie the official dessert or whatever they want to do, they have another bill in the Tennessee legislature, and they just got nothing better to do. A new bill in Tennessee would determine what happens to the family pet when a couple gets divorced. We have to have a law. We have to have a bill about this. Okay? Sponsored by a representative named Caleb Hemmer and a senator, both Democrats, the measure would allow a court to be involved in whether a pet is provided full or partial custody with their owners in the case. It's like a child. If passed, the bill would take effect this coming July. We have to have.
Well, I find that very interesting. When I was a when I was a notary public, I had a woman come to me that wanted to have a document, her will notarized, and in her will, it
Who
said
gets the
that-
dog?
No, this is scary. To
All
me.
right.
In the will, it said that her animals, and she had quite a few, were all going to be euthanized upon her death.
Wow.
I went right after. I had no question that I had no choice to
But to notarize it.
To notarize it.
Yeah.
But I went and talked to a veterinarian to make sure that this was legal,
Legal?
and hopefully it wasn't. But in fact, it is.
Wow.
It is absolutely legal.
That you can.
Which is
was-
outrageous to me.
Was she just worried that no one would take care of the animals, and
Yeah,
therefore they
well-
should
Well,
all
that's
die?
why she
Well,
was
yeah,
doing it
I mean,
probably,
yeah,
but
I mean,
still.
I'm sure she was well intentioned.
Yeah.
In a bizarre way, but you know, it's that just really to this day
Bothers
me.
you.
Yeah.
Now you can't. Could you have refused to notarize it? Because all you're notarizing really is that
I'm
they're
witnessing
signing
I'm
it.
I'm a professional witness to a
To a
signature.
signature, and that's
all
it.
I am, an official witness, I should say.
Yeah.
That's all a notary is.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they don't say, "Hey, can you witness me signing this piece of paper?" and not tell you what the paper says. Oh, do they have to tell you what the paper says before you
No,
notarize
they don't
it?
have to tell me. I don't think, and I don't know why I know that.
Yeah. Okay.
She may have asked me to look at the document.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes I've rewritten documents to because their spelling is atrocious. But yeah. That's,
Wow. That I haven't heard that one. All my animals will be
Yeah.
euthanized after I pass away, unless they pass away first, right? I guess. Yeah.
That's kind of sad, but it
is.
was well intentioned, as you said.
Oh, I
that
have no doubt that she loves them.
wouldn't want them to
I
be
was going to say love them to
have
death.
nobody
left
to take
alone.
care of them, or nobody to take care of them.
Yeah. All right. That's bizarre that you had to sign that, Gary.
Yeah.
All right, we've come to the end of the program. We thank you for listening in as always, and we thank Ed Carew for being here. Gary Smith, thanks for coming in as well.
Well, you're welcome. I'll see you at 9:30.
Very good. Linda, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure as always.
Now go warm up.
I am going to go on.
little chilly here in the studio.
Hopefully not bad, yeah.
So, well, that's because I think we
Well,
closed
yeah,
the door.
'cause
That was a big help. All right, Gary Smith of the Crew. Do you remember at 9:30 here on ON Radio?
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
A bill has been filed